everyone! Today I want to create a Valentine's Day background for a card that I'm going to create as a design team member for a German-based craft store. And I thought, why not just turn the camera on and let you see what I do and what I use. I picked some colors that I normally don't grab as much as I probably should. So it's also a little bit of a challenge for myself. I'm going to use some stamps from Tim Holtz, some Distress Embossing Glaze probably, and we'll just see where this is going to take me. I don't know if I'm going to talk the whole time. Maybe I'll just play you some music. We'll see. I am going to start on my, this is watercolor paper by the way, I'm going to start on my glass media mat, and I'm just going to smash my ink pads down to get me a subtle color onto that background. Leave aged mahogany out for now. A little bit of wild honey. These are colors. Wild honey is probably the most used of the ones that I've picked right now. And I just want to create a very watery background for a start, and then I'll work from there. Just some water, and now I'm just gonna press it in. And I am, okay, that's too little water. I want it more watery, more liquid. That's better. That's what I'm going for. Okay, so I'm going to dry this layer. I'm going to speed the drying up. Okay, so this is dry now. And I think I'm going to add some more water and see what color I still have left on this craft mat. And just dip it in once more. Okay, it's getting a little too yellow for my taste, so I'm gonna clean this off. I'm gonna dry this again, and then I'm gonna come in with a little bit more pink. Okay, this is dry again. Now I want to come back with, probably I'll start with the saltwater taffy. I hope the table didn't shake too much. I was very enthusiastic on that one. And this is abandoned coral. And again, I'm just going to spray this with water and dip my background back in. Not enough water again. Oh, but I actually like this pattern. I'll quickly dry that. And I'm going to dip it in once more. Spray a little bit water. And try to let it drip down. Nice. Okay, I think one more dip into this, and then I'm going to work with some aged mahogany too. So, add a little more water. Okay, that's good. Clean that up. And I'm going to dry that again, and next I'm going to work from this white non-stick mat over here. Actually, this kind of reminds me of mountains. I always tend to see stuff in my backgrounds, and then I usually think I'd probably just save that one and paint something over it, but I'm going to use this for my card. So go on now with the aged mahogany and some more saltwater taffy and abandoned coral. Spritz this with water to get the famous droplets. I'm gonna pull my fingers through just to mix the colors a bit, and then I'm gonna just dip and dip and dry. Gonna take some of this water off in between to get some lighter spots. I don't want it too dark. And repeat. Okay, I want to go back and add some more of the aged mahogany and some abandoned coral. Spritz it with water again. And dip it in maybe one more time. Oh, that's good. I like that. Wow. Okay, that's gonna be my last layer for sure. So I'm gonna dry this and I'll be right back. As I told you before, I always tend to see stuff. So doesn't this look a little bit like Italy? I don't know, maybe France and Spain over here is missing, but it does kind of remind me of the shape of Italy. Now I still do have some ink over here, and it's always smart to keep spare pieces of cardstock, watercolor cardstock in this case, and just do a little cleanup to reuse the ink, and maybe something pretty comes out of that. You never know. So just let me do my cleanup, and then I'll be right back to continue working on this one. Then it will also be completely dry and it's safe to stamp on it then. Okay, so this is my cleanup background, and I actually like it a lot too. So it's gonna go into my background folder. I have this expandable storage thing from Amazon, and I just keep all my backgrounds in here, like stuff that I've used sprays on, or some things over here have pastes on them ready to go, or here I've got some pre-embossed backgrounds, so all kinds of things just ready to go. So when I, for example, need to die cut a few leaves, I would try to grab something like this probably, or turn the entire thing into a card. I really love to just look through this folder and be inspired by something that I've done maybe years ago. So back to this one. Now the theme of my card is going to be a love letters theme. So I want to have my die cut arrangement kind of in this area, and I want to add some stenciling and some stamping. I am going to start with the stamping. So I've picked a few things that kind of remind me, or yeah, could remind you of love letters. So this one, that's this one over here. Postage stamp, maybe later. And this corner also maybe later. Then I've got this one. Why did I pick this one? Oh, for the postcard sign, and maybe this swirly thing might come in handy. Swirly thing. Then from Lady Rose, I definitely want this one here. I love this one a lot. From this one, I want the handwriting and maybe this florist sign. And from this poinsettia one, poinsettia is in a stamp positioner right now, I want to use this handwriting. So to create my little love letter background. Okay, I think I'm gonna grab myself some oxides for that, and probably some Versamark as well. I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided to start with some of the text. For that, I'm going to use the Gathered Twigs Distress Oxide. So I have this text stamp from, I think it was from the poinsettia. Just ink it up. And I don't want it too dark. It should still be in the background. Let me check if this is straight. I think this looks straight. So get it in here. This is just a wet cloth. Get this text in here too. This is, I think, the dearly departed one. That looks better. Stamp this one just right above that one. I'm probably going to take that date off. Like that. And put it somewhere here. Oh, there is even something about love in here. If love can teach us to, I can't read that word. Well, something about love. How fitting. Okay, get this one out of my way for now. So, next one I'm gonna grab, I think it's gonna be this one over here. Again, I want these lines to be straight, like that. And I'm gonna use the aged mahogany, aged mahogany for this one. Get that up here in the corner. Maybe a bit off the page. Like that. Now for the florist one, I think I'm gonna emboss that one. I'm still gonna use this postcard one over here. Emboss that one too? No. Let me use the abandoned coral for this one. Over here. Okay, you can barely even see it. I might restamp it with aged mahogany. And I am not very concerned about it being in the right place. So if it's a little bit off, then the abandoned coral just kind of acts as a shadow for that one. So kind of the same position, but not 100%. Oh yeah, that's fun. You see? It's kind of like a little outline. Okay, get that one off, and now I'm gonna do this swirly thing. Swirly thing is gonna be in Wild Honey. Let's see how that shows up. Just get it in different places, like here. And over here. And one more. Somewhere in this area. Okay, that's fun. Now I'm going to quickly dry this because I want to emboss this one down here with Distress Embossing Glaze, and I don't want the glaze to stick to any other stamped images, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is now dry, and I'm going to line this one up on my block. Make sure it's straight. Hard to see on the black, maybe it's easier over here. Looks okay. Ink it up with my Versamark. And stamp it into this corner. Bring over my little tray that I use for glitter and for embossing powder. So it's lined with Swiffer sheets, and these are just coffee filters to catch all the embossing powder and put it back in the jar. Okay, just let me blow off the excess. Put that back. Okay. Close that up. So this is the, I don't know if I mentioned it, the aged mahogany. And I'm gonna emboss it and be right back. Okay, that came out nicely. And last thing I want to do to this is use this stencil over here. It's number 182. And first I want to ink through it a little bit with, which one am I going to use? Let's see how the dried marigold will show up. I want it really subtle, so I kind of fade it out to the edges. It's really hard to see, so I might go a little darker. Let me grab some of the saltwater taffy instead. And this is really just play, so sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. but really, you can't do anything wrong with these backgrounds. I mean, if there's a spot that you don't like, then cover it up with a die cut. Still barely visible. Okay, we need to go even darker. So let me get the abandoned coral. And that should do it. Oh, still super hard to see. Okay, but this is not all that I want to do to this. I also want to put some Crackle Paste and some more Embossing Glaze. So let me grab my paste. Okay, so I've grabbed my Distressed Crackle Paste Opaque, and I am going to spread it through this stencil. Get this one off, because I now also have these fun rubbers that Tim told us about. So today this one is gonna get a rubber too. Get some paste. Stencil is still in the same spot. And just haphazardly, I want to get this image in. I don't want to go solid in any place. Maybe still a little bit more here. That's it. And a little bit down here. Clean that off. Back, and now I have here some dried marigold embossing glaze, which I want to sprinkle over this pattern. So, gonna get my little box back. And a little bit of saltwater taffy. Close these. And I'm gonna tap from the bottom. Okay. Okay, so this now needs to crack and dry, and then I can heat emboss it. So I will let that do its work, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so about 45 minutes have now passed, and I'm gonna hold this up So I hope the camera is gonna focus and you can see that this has cracked and the embossing glaze is still on here. And I'm gonna heat this now. I'm gonna speed that process up and then I'll be right back to show you the result. Okay, so now I've embossed this and this is the result that we've got. Now I like the look down here because I have this dark aged mahogany underneath. You can see the cracks really nicely. Up here they kind of get lost a bit, so I have a distress crayon over here. This happens to be Gathered Twigs. And I'm going to use this Tim Holtz, what's it called, the distress blending brush, and this is the one that I use just for crayons. And I'm just going to scribble some of the crayon just on top of my embossed areas. So not on the paper, just like that. Close that. And I'm going to put a drop of water onto this mat over here. Going to close my brush and just pick up a little bit of water, not too much. So I'm gonna kind of pounce it off on my hand till it's damp and not wet. And now I'm just going to scribble this crayon carefully around. I don't want to get outside of my pattern too much. A little bit of water. Just work it into those cracks. Get some more water. Okay. Get myself a paper towel because this brush is getting too wet. That's better. Yeah. So I think I've enhanced my cracks now. I'm gonna leave this out here to dry. And I'm gonna just wet this paper towel and rub it over the top to remove any crayon that I don't want on there. Get another spot that's cleaner. And like this, I have enhanced the cracks in here. Now this did keep a little bit of the crayon on it, but I'm fine with that. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble my card, and I'm going to pop an image of the finished card in here. So I hope you like this video. I hope you just grab your supplies and play a little bit. It's so much fun, and the results are different every time, so you might surprise yourself with what you get, maybe even the shape of Italy, who knows. So see you next time, and I hope you liked it. Bye!